Hello and welcome to the video on how to assemble the collar in our 6510 Skyline blouse. Close shoulder seams. If you want, use a flat felled seam for better durability of your blouse. Turn the facings on front panels inward and press front edges. Fold seam allowance inside and press. First, we are marking the seam allowance measured from the top edge. Here we are folding in the seam allowance and ironing. A little detail, but quite important. Now cut in about 1.5 millimeters at the front edge of your blouse. This is where the collar will be sandwiched in between. You'll see in a few minutes. Cut off excess at the top. Using a long straight machine stitch, sew a line across the center back in order to pull the threads and gather the collar a bit at these points for it to lay better and become rounder. Now pin the collar with the open edge to the neckline. Make sure to align the center backs. Sew it on. And here you can see the important part. The collar gets sandwiched in between your folded facing at the front edge. The very tip of your collar thereby peeks into the slit we just did at the front edge. Now sew everything on. Trim the seam allowance of the just sewn edge. Now, take a long piece of bias strip, folded lengthwise. You are pinning it along the neckline on top of your collar with the fold facing outwards. Sew this on with a straight machine stitch. Press everything over to fully cover the seam allowances. Now you'll top stitch on top of the bias tape, securing bias tape on top of the seam allowances. Have a look at the 2 markings we did in the video. Only sew up to these points on both sides. You can see here what that should look like afterwards. We hope that this video made the construction of this beautiful oversized collar clear. The next video in this series will show you how to finish the button tape in the front.